Hi, the reason that you are receiving this link to this video today is that you haven't upgraded to our latest version, version 9.0 of Matrix. So I wanted to take the opportunity to make a video to show some of the highlights that have taken place within the software, not only with version 9, but also some of the things that came out in version 8, and talk about, how these new tools would benefit you. We're also going to be offering some special pricing between now and the end of October. And of course, we could move that into November a little bit. But our goal here is to really get everybody on the same platform because it makes it easier for us as a company to be able to technically support people more. But more importantly, it can help you to stay current and not worry about your software becoming obsolete. GenVision's policy has always been that we will support the current version plus one version back. So we're currently on version 9. We'll support back to version 8. So depending on where you're at, you might be on version 6 or 7 or 7.5 or even 8. The point is that we want to be able to get you up to speed, get you onto these new tools because it's going to help you to help us, and it's going to help us to help you. So I'm going to go over some key updates that came out, build a couple of simple pieces of jewelry to be able to show you some of the new features. But more importantly, really, I want you to really take advantage of this opportunity to update and be ready to go. So as we move into the future. So interface wise, we didn't really change a whole lot with the interface. There's a couple of new tools that came out. Maybe we moved a couple of tools throughout the process here, the product. But those are things, if you're on an older version, you'll pick up at those pretty quick. One of the things I want to point out right out of the gate is the project manager. Now this is telling me I just deleted a bunch of projects and wants to know if I want to re-up them. And I'm telling it no. But what I want to show you here, with version 8 and version 9, we added in the ability to really go out and have better control over your project managers and your job bags. So to kind of show you a little bit about this, you'll notice this one here is actually grayed out. It doesn't have a check mark on it because every time we load up project managers every day, we reload all the files. And so if there's certain ones that you still want to have visible, we can turn those off so they don't load, and therefore it saves your time in rebooting. Of course, you should always hard save these as well. But if I come down here to this particular piece right here, you're going to notice that it has all my curve structure, everything I did to set this up. But if I click on the info, as you'll notice, I went in and filled in all this information. Why? Because all this now is searchable. So as you build models and more models, or you could go back and import, your older project managers from some of the older versions, you can go in and label these. And everything's searchable. The text is searchable. All these fields are searchable, and you can also tag anything that you want as well. So if a customer comes in and they're looking for a certain total weight, a certain price point, finger sizes, whatever it might be, you can go in and start to search, and therefore you're only going to look at what might fit in to help speed up that design process for yourself. So I can search by CAM labor, CAD labor, what day I created it, the status, whether it's open or closed. And then I can also click on these tags, and these tags are totally searchable. So if I click on find everything that I have that is bead set, it's going to go out and bring up these 4 projects, because obviously I don't have a lot as compared to what you have. And then from here, I could simply click on one of these, take a look at it, come back here, look at the files, and I'm now ready to open these up and start to, redesign something off of something that I currently have. So project managers, workflow, searchability all becomes a much smoother process. And of course, the key is the consistency of the labeling. Another thing that we added in to some of the later versions is a tool that's always been here, which is the F6 key, but we now have the ability to lock this F6 key out onto the screen. Okay, so before, every time you do something, you'd have to go back and grab it, and change it, and hit F6 again. We no longer have to do that. We simply go in, select whatever tool we want. If I want to choose a finger size 7, I'll drop this out there just like that. And you'll notice that because of that, um, it's changed my tool set here. So if I deselect that, it's going to update. If I reselect it, it's going to update, and continue to go on and you know do what you need it to do. So I fast forwarded it here just a little bit. I brought up my curve structure, but I do want to show you a couple other things that's going on within uh, some other new features that we added into version 9. If I come down here and I can select any of these, I'll just choose this one down here at the bottom, and I turn on my move, scale, and rotate components. And I can zoom in, and of course I can approach my library over here, or I can approach it over here. Either way, but when I click on this, we now have the ability for you to go in and edit the order. Now, this seems like a basic thing, but if I'm traditionally going to use something that lives down here at the bottom, and I now want to move it up here to the top, I now have more accessibility to that, to be able to, not have to scroll through 100 different pieces to get what it is that I really want to work with in the first place. So any of these, you could drag and drop them, and you can do this in literally any menu that we have. And so that's going to, of course, save you time. Um, you can also set up your own if that's what you want to do. So you can sort if you wanted to by different selections. And of course, you can add in, and we can also name those so that they show up that way as well. So lots of different new things going on there, and things, again, that'll just help to save you time. So I'm not going to do anything crazy here. I'm just going to go ahead and sweep this, and we're going to show you a few other new tools. Okay, so sweep this thing around. You've probably done this since version 1 if you've been around a while. And I'm just going to make a quick little pin shank right there. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you here is a few different things. Number one is we have updated a lot of the basic heads, the stellar heads. You can go in and look by heads, bezels, jump rings, whatever it is that you're looking for. Just like before, of course, we can move these around, and I can edit the order on these as well. I'm going to choose this head here, and I can come over, I can choose it in white, gold, or platinum, and I can choose what size I want. I'll go ahead and go with a 1 carat. And then I'm just going to grab my move, scale, and rotate. Whoops, sorry. Points here, and I'm going to move this up just like you would. I'm just going to utilize this as a component, and I'm going to position that right up there just like that. Okay, might need to come down just a little bit, but we'll go with it. Okay, the next thing I want to do then is I want to come over here, and my gem loader lives here. The only real change that we've made with gem loader is we did add pearl shapes into here, and some people say, well, it's just a sphere. Well, now all our other tools work with it as well. So I'm going to grab a 1 carat stone here, and just like before, we're going to hit the MSR, and I'm just going to move that up and put that into place just like that, and we're ready to go. Okay. So the next tool I want to show you here, though, is one that we actually sniped from our counter sketch program, and that is Halo Builder. So I can go in and quickly click on a halo, and I can adjust the height and everything I want to do here. I can adjust the profile just like I did before. And same thing with this. I mean, I can move all these profiles around as well if that's what you want to do. Determine where I want that placed out there just like that. And of course, I'm going to need to bring this in just a little bit, get that a little bit tighter around there. And then I did go out and grab some of my parts out here. And of course, we have smart technology in here. Okay, so number one, anything I want to do to this, if I start to adjust any of these controllers right here, I can make that all happen simply by adjusting these. So let's do that again. So there's Halo Builder, okay, and I can move these in and out. I can adjust the outside. And then another kind of unique tool to Matrix here today is I can come in here and I can override the shape. So if I suddenly want more of a octagonal shape going around the outside, I can simply just come over here and make that adjustment. And you can adjust or override this as many times as you want. Maybe you want something a little bit smoother, something along the lines of that. And again, just being able to go in and make those adjustments, and then understanding again, how you're going to construct this piece of jewelry can be a big part in helping you out, but very, very quick to be able to make that all happen. Okay, layer structures haven't changed any. We can go in and make those. And then I'm just going to bring these little parts out here simply because I had them available. Make some adjustments. And let's go ahead and get rid of these. And I could quad flip these around. I'm just really putting these out here for some basic supports. Those are a little bit long, but you get the idea. You can scale them. Okay, so I went in and adjusted those and then mirrored them around there so you can kind of see, just added that little component under there to make that all happen. So the reason I was using just a standard stellar head is I'm going to show you some other things that kind of came about throughout our development of these last couple of upgrades here, okay? So the other thing, if I jump over here to the very end, I can now start to also apply metal materials out here onto the screen. And of course, no secret here, I can hold down shift, right click on all the colors here. I can go in and I can choose whatever type of metal that I want. I just want 14 karat white, and I'll apply all that. And then, of course, we can do the same thing over here with our diamonds. And here's another new button. We group these finally. And so I don't have to scroll through 400 things to get to my diamonds now. We grouped them all. And so I just click on diamond, and now I'm down here on the diamonds. So that grouping button has really helped us. It's going to speed up again some time in creating, the jewelry. So those buttons just live right up here. And the reason I bring them up is I'm going to show you another thing here real quick. So once I apply those to there, and of course I can bring this over here and I can save it. That's going to stay with that model. So when I do set this up and utilize my search, I can come back out and all those metals are still going to be attached to it. But why I did that was if I come over here to this little button right here and I click on that, and you're going to notice that it's actually logging me in, and you'll notice that seller pricing is lit up right over here, okay? You'll notice that I've got my 14 karat white gold. It's weighing 3.89 pennyweights, and there's that stock stellar head at 14 karat white, okay? I can come up here and I can say, you know what, I don't need to get that stone. I am going to get these 16 stones from my friends down the road. And I want them to be GHI, and I want them to be, I don't know, make something up, okay? So what it'll do is it'll actually go out and we'll start to search and find to see if, if seller has those in stock. You can order them right from here as well. So, again, just kind of depending on what it is that you're looking for. And that type of thing. And if you wanted to, you can change this to any other color as well. So if you're looking for a sapphire or something like that, you can make that happen. Once you get all that done, you just simply hit quote. And it's going to call out, again, to a website at Stellar. And you'll notice that these stones aren't available. So you can either source them somewhere else, or I can come back in and maybe scale them up or down a little bit to get it. But you'll notice that the 14 karat metal for this is going to cost $476, and 14 karat heads about $64. So once you get that done, you can save it, of course, um, or you can come over here and hit print. And when it hits print, it takes the model, and not only does it do the 4 viewports, but it also comes out and gives you the layout. And I can also, there's an area for your customer to sign off. And then the second page has all your, what I call a cut list. So it has all the materials that you're ordering and all that fun stuff. So that's a new tool that came out. It's been out in a couple of versions, but I wanted to highlight that because it really helps to, keep track of what it is that you're working on. Again, if you're trying to hit that price point and that sort of thing. So since we're talking about Stellar, we also have a Stellar export button up here. So you can go in and, put in your name, your customer's name, or whatever you want to be able to track this off of, and hit next. Whoops, gotta have an email. Don't know where to send the quote to if I don't fill it in, right? Hit next. It'll ask you what it is. So this is obviously a ring. I hit next. From here, then, you go through and you add whatever metal quality that you want. Okay, so if it's going to be one tone, if it's going to be two tone, whatever it might be, you need to grab that model and hit add model, and you're going to show that it's right there. And then you can come down here and choose your 14 karat white gold. Okay, and then you hit next. Do you want it semi-finished or totally finished? And do you want it to be a one-piece casting, or does it need to be an assembly? Okay, obviously we're going to identify that head as separate, but we could do the rest of it as a solid casting. And then all metal design, or if you're going to set them yourself, of course. And then you can determine whether or not you want any engraving done in the inside. And then we do this little book if you want that. And then from there, any additional options, and you hit submit. So if you are using another CAD service, that's fine. But the button is here to make it super easy to be able to send it out to our friends in Lafayette to have this manufactured for you there as well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is a tool also that's been in here since version 8. And it's one of those tools that people really, really like because it saves them a lot of time and effort, especially if they're taking something out to a printer or a grower. Okay, so I'm going to take this model and I'm going to run a mesh repair on it. And so within a few seconds, it goes out and it calculates, looks at all the geometry going on here, and it goes out and it creates a mesh out of this. Now, one of the things that Rhino's had a hard time with over the years, and when we moved from version 4 to 5 of Rhino, the geometry got way better. Okay, but because of this mesh repair tool, I no longer have to go in and boolean everything together. Okay, everything's living right there. So that thing now is ready to go off to the printer or export it however you want. Another thing that we added in was this little tool right here, and that is our tool that helps you to identify on a model where it needs to be supported. So I just selected the whole model, and this is showing me I need supports here, I need supports here. Again, depending on which type of printer you're sending it off to, or a grower. I can put my sprue on if I want to. Select this and hit go. There's my sprue. And then I can come in here and add my supports. And I can go in and scale these and turn on my mirror and speed up this process right here as well. Okay, so you get the idea with this. I hit enter. And if I had my own printer, I probably want to bring those down a little bit. But once I get this all set up, oops, I didn't hit enter on my sprue. Ow. Oh well. You get the idea. But now, once I get this all set up the way that I want it to be, now I can come in and run my mesh repair on this, and this will be ready to go off as well. So again, kind of looking at all these different things and these different tools that are really going to help you to to be able to model better and to be able to have your models ready to go to manufacturing much quicker because of the tool sets that we have within the product here. Okay, so this is almost finished up. There it is. And just like what I showed you before, oops, ready to go. My supports are in there, and I'm ready to make things happen. Okay, I'm not going to get into a lot of the rendering things here as well, but we've improved a lot of our renders applications and different things like that. We've got a new matrix viewer, which allows you to take this model and make it available to be able to publish out on your web, email a link to your customer. They can spin it around, change metal colors and all that fun stuff. And that's been a big hit. And we're going to continue to develop that product over the next little while. As right now we call it Gem Vision Labs. It's in that category where we're continuing to evolve it. Okay, so I've got just a couple more tools I want to show you, and then we will button this up, and hopefully, as I mentioned, you'll see some value in this, and you'll pick up the phone and give us a call and purchase the upgrade to Matrix 9. So the last button I'm going to show you here lives right underneath here. It's called Smart Pattern. And this is just, this is a bracelet piece that I just took and I extracted a surface out of it is what I did. So you could draw this with a curve, two curves and sweep it flat or however you want to get that surface. I'm going to drop the surface right into here. And then as you'll notice, I can go over here and hit Browse Patterns. And when I go out and browse these patterns, I can choose whatever pattern I want. Okay. Now, again, you can add to these patterns, take away. We've got seamless and non-seamless. So again, depending on what project you're working on, as far as what you might want to work with is up to you. Okay, so let's try this one. So I hit import on this and I put this into my project manager right there. And then you'll notice if I roll this up, you can see it a lot better. Over here, we've got the ability to start to add columns, add rows. And so I'm going to stick with a couple of columns here from this particular part. And what the columns are is how far out do you want this pattern or this texture to go. In fact, let's just add a few more just like that. And then rows is going to be how tight are they. Okay, so if you want, I don't know, let's go 5 rows, 4 rows, whatever it might be. Okay, and then we've got all the different offsets here as well. So if I want to move this up or down, so in other words, it's on top of that surface, but I might want to ensure that it's truly underneath that surface, maybe just a little bit, because keeping in mind that this is my, that's my bracelet, that'd be the outside of my bracelet. So ensuring that you have that positioned wherever you want it to go. Okay, and of course we can move it out here as well. If I want to squish it a little bit or squash it a little bit, we can make that all happen. And then we can adjust the rows out here as well. Okay, so once you get that lined up the way you want it, you just simply hit enter, and there's my pattern. I'm actually going to turn this off real quick. I'm going to go to a different layer. I'm going to turn this off because I'm going to extract a curve out of here. And I want to show you another tool that we added in that's kind of fun. And this is no different than any other part that you've had before. Extract a curve, right? I'm going to extract that curve. Well, let's go up just a little bit. Let's extract that curve. And then I'm going to select that curve, and I'm going to come up here to my tools, or my builders, I'm sorry. And I'm going to click on the rope builder. And then from here, I can go out and create a rope pattern on here. Okay, so you can start to tighten that up. And then this is the amount of twists that are going on here. You can decide, where that's at. If you want it a little looser, a little bit tighter, of course, you can continue to click on this and you're going to get that look. And I'm going to hit enter again, and now that's out there doing its business. So let's go ahead and turn back on our green layer, and let's grab this and this. And I don't have these lined up perfectly, but you're going to get the idea. And we're going to mirror this. And then once that's done, I can simply drop out that back, and there's my pattern. I need to move that out a little bit, but there you go. So that's a new tool, right? It's kind of fun, and gives you a lot of the ability to go in and do some fun undercarriages and that sort of thing. And then I'll show you just one other new thing that we added in here. I'm going to bring this back out and come up here to Texture Builder. And Texture Builder works just like Pattern Builder, and you just come out here and grab whatever pattern you want. And you can, these are just JPEGs, so you can photograph your own hammer finish or whatever it might be, and import them in here. And so we're going to go with a straw finish. And when this first starts off, you really can't see it too well. But if you come over here, you can increase the resolution on it. And then same as before, I can start to increase and decrease the tiles on this, and it's going to start to take on a whole different look. And so once you get it the way that you want it, maybe pump it up to high res, and now you can see that texture's out there as well. And that's done. So lots of new tools. Not able to get to all of them, of course, but I wanted to be able to at least show you some of the new features and functionality within the product. And again, it's super important that you upgrade to version 9. It's got a lot of great tools. It doesn't cost that much. And, at the end of the day, there's so much more in here. I didn't even touch on the new rendering. I didn't touch on the new animation stuff. I didn't touch on Clay U being added into it, which is just like T-splines, but also has sculpting capabilities. So I hit the highlights, but keep it in mind, we have special pricing, so give us a call at 800-357-6272, and you can hit extension 1 or email us at info@gemvision.com, as we're here to help. Also, remember that we're only supporting 2 versions back. So version 9 is out, we support 8. So if you're on 7.5, 7, 6, now's a good time to upgrade. You would need to possibly buy the Rhino 5 upgrade, but we can talk about that from a pricing structure once you give us a call. Make sure that when you call in, you ask for your territory rep. Craig covers the East Coast, Tim covers the West Coast, and my name is Doug. I cover the central part of the United States, and we're all here to help you out. So anything we can do, let us know. I hope you enjoyed this.